Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a while since I got a video up. I did end up going on vacation, and I did have a video I was trying to get up before vacation, but it just kept fighting with me with the upload. It would just keep erroring out. So that one was uploaded as soon as I got back. I just fought through it and finally got that one uploaded. But this is actually the first project that we're working on since I got back from vacation. And this was sent in by Eric. This is a Kitchenaid Model 3B. And we're giving this a restoration in mint green. It's going to be mint green with the black. And also we are putting a 4C or a 3C a 3C thing on here for the attachment on here, because these notoriously had issues. And apparently at some point Kitchenaid actually went and upgraded these. You can take it to a service center and get this upgraded to the 3C style. And I'll show you the difference. I mean, this one's got on the 3B, this one's got like a little latching mechanism, and there's actually a post on your whipper that goes up inside of here, and it goes up inside, where on the 3C it hangs down, and there's actually a hole in the top of your whipper attachment, so it slides up over there. Because these had issues with the clip on it and the spring. So that was an upgrade that they did, and we're going to upgrade this one. He did send a parts machine up that had a 3C that has the shaft on it that he wants, so we're going to go ahead and swap that out when we put it back together. So let me go ahead and fire this thing up quick. Let's see if this thing runs. Alright, well, it runs extremely well, so that's a good sign. So let me start taking the parts off here and getting this thing apart, and we'll see what everything looks like inside of it here. Alright, the brushes look good on there. Both sides look good. Alright, we got to, before we take the knob or anything else off of here, this handle got to come off. In the meantime, I think I'll just take this back cover off first. Make sure you guys can see here. But yeah, we had a great time on vacation there. We went to we actually left here, drove down into Ohio, clear across Ohio into Pennsylvania. Stopped in the Poconos there to see the grandkids and see my daughter, and then we went north from there up in upstate New York. And we went up quite a ways, and then came down and over to Ticonderoga, and we were hoping to take the ferry over, but it was closed for the season, across the I guess it's Lake Champlain, I believe. So we ended up having to drive down south to Whitehall, and then right from there we crossed over to Vermont. But we spent the night in Whitehall, and another thing that we found out that we didn't know, but we found out when we were there, is that Whitehall is the Bigfoot capital of the world. So I guess any of you that are looking for Bigfoot, go check out Whitehall, New York, because it's supposedly the Bigfoot capital of the world. The manager of the motel we stayed in was telling us that they had just had a sighting recently, and they've had people from all over the world coming there looking for Bigfoot and all that. So if you're in that sort of thing, there's a place to check out. But anyways, then we went over into Vermont, and when we were in New York, it was cloudy, foggy, rainy. But when we got into Vermont, we had nice. I mean, it was in the 70s and sunny. They were having extremely warm weather for the time of year, which was cool. It worked out perfect for us. So we got to see a lot of stuff, got a lot of pictures. The scenery was just gorgeous while we were there. We also went to the Ben & Jerry's ice cream place there, which was, I guess, the first factory there or whatever, and got the tour, took the tour of that, got some free ice cream at the end, which was cool. Just seen a lot of really cool, awesome scenery there, and Vermont. We spent the night in Vermont again, and then we left for towards New Hampshire the next day, and we just took that time to, take the scenic route, to see a lot of the covered bridges and stuff like that. So that was cool. And when we got to Vermont, we actually started driving north or New Hampshire. When we crossed New Hampshire, we started driving north in New Hampshire. We got up into the White Mountains, and two of the things that we wanted to do was go see a bunch of the waterfalls, and then take the auto road up to the top of Mount Washington, which is like 7,000 and some feet. So that was our agenda while we were there. But unfortunately, we got a room, and we woke up next morning. It was rainy, extremely foggy, and that kind of put a kibosh on all those plans. So at that point, we pretty much just drove through New Hampshire and into Maine. And Maine was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was more beautiful than I expected it to be. And we came in, I don't recall exactly where we came in at, but our GPS kept wanting to take us, to I-95, and we didn't want to get on I-95, so we just, pinned the destination somewhere up north, away from 95, and just started driving, let the GPS take us. And the funny thing is, I never checked to see where exactly we were pinned. Well, the pin was dropped in the middle of nowhere. It was just plain white, no roads around or nothing. So the best the GPS could do was get us on old logging roads. So we actually got some off-roading in unintentionally. But yeah, we were on these old logging roads, and had to cross these rickety wooden bridges and everything. And it was an adventure. I don't ever condone anybody, going off-road or, anything like that in their daily driver or alone, but we kind of ended up, we had no choice before we realized what was going on. We were already back there, so eventually, an hour and a half later, we got onto paved road again, and we spent the night. We went up north, and we were going to spend a night up by like Caribou, but there's really nothing available up there, and I guess it's because there's really nothing up there. So we ended up coming down to Holton. We spent the night in Holton, and the next day we just drove out to the furthest east point that we could find on the coast without going into Canada there, and I thought it was amazing. I mean, there was places there that had, when you drive, I mean, it's like 6 out of the 10 houses that you see were abandoned, just abandoned properties. And when you got off to the coast, we finally found the coast there, and we expected to see, hotels, resorts, stuff like that, and there was actually none of that up there. It was all like just fishing villages, and I mean, there were small houses. The yards were filled with lobster traps, and they had boats, and we found a harbor there, and you could see that it was full of boats. Everybody loading up lobster traps and getting ready to go out for the day. So that was really nice to see. It was kind of like unmolested coastal towns, and one thing I did notice is that the further south we got, especially once we got towards Bar Harbor, especially below Bar Harbor and the further south we went, you see a lot more like resorts, condominiums, big houses, right on the water, and it was nice to not see that in the northern part. But anyways, we drove down, we went to Bar Harbor, saw Acadia National Park. I'm noticing these are kind of crunchy on here, so I may sleeve those. Everything else in here looks pretty good. I mean, this is just a little dirty, it needs to be cleaning. But anyways, we drove down to Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park. We just spent the day hiking through Acadia National Park, and that was something. I mean, the views there were just incredible. I really enjoyed that. And then we spent the rest of the day and the evening in Bar Harbor. That's where we got our lobster dinner, which I found out that I'm still not really a big fan of lobster, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And anyways, then we went back to Bangor and spent the night at our hotel in Bangor. And the next day we drove down. I believe we got I don't know exactly. I don't remember offhand the name of the town that we spent the night in, but it wasn't that far from Salem. And the next day we went to Salem, and we were planning on spending 2 days in Salem, but we pretty much seen everything in a day. But that was an experience there. I loved seeing Salem, Massachusetts. We took the witch tour and the candlelit ghost tour, and went to the witch museum and the witch dungeon and all that. We just had a blast up there. That I thought was just an amazing time. And after that, it was my wife wanted to see in Fall River, Massachusetts. She wanted to see the Lizzie Borden house, so we stopped. We saw that. That was cool. Got to learn a lot of history about that as well, which is what I liked about Salem. The witch tours and all that. You just learn a lot of the actual history. So it was surprising to find out that she didn't really give her mom and dad 41 whacks. It was more like 19 and 11. So just some cool history. That's if she even did it. I mean, I guess they never had no evidence. So that's why she was acquitted. But it was very, very interesting to see that. I love seeing all the old houses and everything on this trip too. But then we cut across. From there, we went to Rhode Island and cut across to Connecticut, drove across to Connecticut, back into Pennsylvania, then Ohio, then back up here to Michigan. So I'm home now, and back to trying to get all this work caught up here. But I did take a lot of pictures, a lot of video. If you guys want to see any of that, I mean, I do have it. I did put a bunch up on my Facebook page, but if you guys want to see any of that, just let me know, and I can probably throw something together so that you can, here on YouTube, I can probably put something together so you can see pictures and videos of the trip. It was a trip of a lifetime. Like I said earlier, in another video, before we left, we've been married 14 years and we've never had a vacation, and we probably won't get another one. Just due to work schedules and just the sheer cost of it. All of our trips before have consisted of leaving town for the weekend, so you haul ass to get to your destination, and it's usually to visit family. And we haul ass to get there and spend a tired day or two there, because you're wore out from the trip, and then you got to haul ass back home to go to work. So that was really not our idea of vacation. It's more like, how we visit somebody. So this was actually the first vacation ever, and like I said, we may never get another one. So we took full advantage of it and just enjoyed it. And it's bittersweet when you come back. You wish you could stay longer, see more, but there's something to be said about sleeping in your own bed too. So it's good to be home. But anyways, back to the task at hand here. I'm trying to get the little pin out on this handle, because the cover comes off this handle, and you have to pull this pin out on here. Make sure you guys can see here. You got to pull the little pin out at the end that actually holds this on. Then you can peel this back to get to the screws that hold the handle on, because with the handle on, you can't even take this knob off here. So, got to get this handle off of here. And that there is the little pin. When I said little pin, I mean I wasn't exaggerating. It's a small one. Alright, so now I should be able to pop this up. And it's like full of crud here too. There we go. So you see the way that pops open, and the screws are right down in here. And as I loosen these up, and this comes off, this will bend down further and then come right out. Alright, got those loosened up, and you can see you get to a certain point and they'll just come right out. I get the rest of these screws out of here, or to get the rest of the way out, so we get our handle off. like I said, these parts here are going to end up being black. Which, you know, to me, I mean, the black looks really good with the mint green. My wife has a fan that's mint green and white, and that looks good. But I do like it with the black personally. All right, all these parts to get ready for sandblasting. I'm just going to set them aside over there so they're out of the way. All right, now we can get our knob off. And this now, those screws are the only that really hold this on, other than a clip underneath here. So basically, this can slide forward here. And then when you slide it forward to clear that clip in the back, that clip kind of hooks right under here. You can take that off. And then this just has some tabs I gotta bend to take this off, so that way when I powder coat this I can get all underneath there. Alright, so now that we've got that taken apart, we can access all the parts up here, like the switch. Let's get the switch screws out. And let's get our switch out. And the switch is, of course, you know, you got a goofy little RF filter there. But one lead is held on with a nut. The other one is attached directly to the brush holder in here. So I'm going to go and just pull this out. There you go, there's the whole switch with the clip to the brush holder. And this right here, we'll just take that QD, clean, which I see them out, I gotta get more. That CRC QD electronic cleaner. You just spray it all into here, everywhere we can get it in. And because you get carbon buildup in there, sometimes the switches get a little sketchy from that. So clean it out really good, and it'll work great after that. Alright. Rotate this around, cut this cord off, kind of getting in the way here. There we go. And I got to drop down a little bit here. Make sure you guys can see. And we're just going to start taking these internal parts out here. But it's nice to come back, you know, to work all refreshed and everything too. I mean, I got like a clear mind about this. I'm not stressing out over how to get caught up. You know, I'm just looking at the work I got, just doing them one at a time, and the order that they came in when everyone's been sitting here the longest, for the most part, is getting done first. All right. There's a lot of debris and crud in here. That's that pin. Like this spring here is not going to be in my way. Let's see if this will come right out of here. Sure be nice. There we go. Alright, so we got this off, and as you see, there's your bushing in there. There's a washer that I want to put back on the armature, though. It's easier to keep track of them when they're on the armature here. Alright, well, we take this all apart and clean that up, get that all oiled up real well in there. There's basically, if I recall, there's a bushing, there's a wick, a spring in here, and then this holds it all together. So it's easy enough to clean, get lubricated like that. Alright, this just needs to be cleaned up. Get our armature out and examine that. That's, of course, nice and smooth. These don't seem to really wear. Is there a date on that? Nope. Alright, so it's at the armature side that just needs to be cleaned and polished. Alright, now I gotta find cord connections. Alright, here's one. Wire nut just fell right off on me. Alright, and the other should be on this side. And there it is. Alright, I should be able to get this cord right out of the way now. There we go. I just want to say this because of the cord restraint on there. But set that aside. Now I got to pull the field coil out of here, but there is 2 screws that hold that in here. Because I can't take the switch assembly, the lever and all that out until this is out of here. Alright, get these screws out of the way. Make sure our wires are all clear. And this should just pull right out. Yep, there we go. Just gotta watch the lever on the top there. Alright, and there's our field coil. Get that cleaned up, check all the wiring on there. I do not see a date on that either, so unfortunately this machine doesn't have any dates in it. If you look back in here on the right side, you can see there's one more, let me turn so you can see, there's one more wire on the other brush holder here. It's clipped on. So I'll get that off. Alright, so now take this washer off of here, slide this pin out. We can take our whole lever assembly out. And there you have it right there. With the spring and everything. Switch lever assembly. Get that set over here. Alright, I do see a lot of let me restart this with the flash on. Alright, there. Unfortunately I can't turn it on once I've already started recording, but if I stop recording I can turn it on. Alright, you can see all that grime and grunge in there. I wish I had turned this on before, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this all cleaned out before we sandblast it, just because it's that's a lot. I mean, you don't want to contaminate your blasting meter with that, so we degrease it as best as we can before we put it in there. Alright, I'm going to just loosen up the set screws for our brush holders here and get these out of the way. Alright, there's one. And there's 2. Alright, let's focus on the front part here. Alright, here we've got to get this Planetary off here now. Oh yeah, you can see on here the clip on here is already missing. I mean, it's not even on there. And it looks like the original shaft is from the attachment is busted off in there. So that would need some serious work anyways, so replacing that is a really good idea. And what is going on here? I can't even find the slot in the screw. Huh. There must be a slot in there. I'm sure not seeing it though. Well, I'll be There's gotta be. Sure not feeling it either. I mean, is it that caked full of stuff that it's just not showing? I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna see if I can just get it off and try to find a slot later. Is this even gonna work? These are like the worst vice grips in the world. Yeah, they're not gonna work. Alright, let me break out some real vice grips here. Huh, these don't even seem to want to work on that. Alright, I'm going to lay this down and take a better look at it. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got her loose now. I just had to lay her down and get the vice grips on it. And, you know, that way I get a little better leverage on it here. Still seems to be on there pretty good though. There we go. Useless. Those things are useless. I don't even know why I keep them around. Alright. You see where I was digging across there, where I thought there was a slot in here, but right there, I thought there was a slot, but there's not. I mean, it's perfectly smooth. So I'm just going to replace this screw because that thing is useless. Totally useless. Man, what do you do with that? We'll keep all the washers with it and everything together with it for now. And let's see about getting this Planetary off of here. There we go. Alright, so make sure this has a slot in it. Yeah. Alright, so once we take this off of this Planetary part off the 3C, all we gotta do is take this screw out and we can pull the shaft out and just swap them. Easy peasy. Alright, so now the fun part, and this part is, you know, always fun on these, is to try to take this whole gear cover off here. There may be, like in most cases, or I think almost all cases, breaking out the heat gun for this, because it's not that it's a tight fit, but you see all this, all the stain around here, all the grease and oil that's like leaking out of here. Well, when it gets in between these, you know, of course it'll varnish up and just make everything stick. So once we heat it up, it basically softens that varnish up, and then we can pull this out of here. And I'm almost positive we're going to have to do that, because I can't really recall not having to do that. Let me just get our last screw out here first and see where we're at. All these screws got to be heavily degreased too. They're all in rough shape. Alright. Grab a paper towel quick. Man, because I'm grungy. Alright, pin out of there. Nope. I still got a washer stuck on here too. Alright. Yeah, this isn't budging at all. So we'll go with the heat gun. Alright, there we go. We got it out. Just took a little bit of heat. You can see, if you see on here, you see this yellowing on there. That's just, you know, the varnish that was on there. And it basically just locks it in there. But you heat it up and it turns soft and oily and, you know, allows you to just pull the whole thing out. So, let me get something to set this on here because this is pretty nasty. Matter of fact, just an old piece of cardboard. Just set that on there like that. And let's make sure all the parts came out of there. Yeah. Alright. Alright. I'm going to remove some grease and then we'll come back and take a look at the parts. Alright. So now we're at the point where I got, you know, a lot of the grease scraped out of there. There's still a lot in there. But I get that out in a little bit. And as here we got, you know, most of the grease taken off of there. So now I can take these parts apart and get them in a degreaser and get them degreased. The only other thing we have left to do is I got to remove the pin from here, pop this off, take the little trim ring off here, the bushing that's in the front here. There's a bushing right there. It's got to come out. And on here, take off the feet and take this off here. And then we can start getting everything cleaned up. Get it all media blasted and powder coated, and we can come back and start putting everything back together. So instead of being redundant with, you know, I mean, every other one of these I've done, I think I've shown, you know, taking a pin out of here and all that. So, you know, instead of being redundant, I think I'm going to go ahead and just stop here, get everything cleaned up, and then we'll come back after we get everything all powder coated. Alright, so we've got this one here all wrapped up. Changing this attachment shaft out here was not as straightforward as I thought, but we did get it changed on here, as you can see. But here was one off of a, you know, the whole Planetary assembly off of a 3C, a Model 3C that he had sent to use for parts, to swap that over. And basically I thought I would just, you know, take this shaft out of here and then just swap the new one, you know, the 3C one into the 3B. But what I found out was the bushing that goes in there were different sizes. This one is this size here, and that one right there is actually the bushing. The wall of the bushing itself here is slightly thicker, so when I put that in there, it had a lot of play and just kind of wobbled around. So now with this one here, you know, of course this one, you know, that's how they're supposed to fit, so that's the way this one fits in the bushing now. So we did get that taken care of. You can see it's all mint green. The lettering was all redone on here, and we redid the white part on here, and this is all powder coated in black along with this part around here. We got new feet on it, new cord on it, and packed full of grease and all that. Let's go ahead and turn this thing on and give it a listen to here. You see I've still got a few fingerprints I got to get off of here. Alright, so as you see, this one's all good to go. Throw a 3C whipper on there and it should be set. So I think I had mentioned before that it was a, that Kitchenaid had replaced this on the 3Bs if they failed as an upgrade, but I think it was more of like a warranty replacement if they came in for warranty to put one of these on there. And like I said on this one here, you see the clip part, there's like a metal spring clip that goes around here. That is already missing off of here. It's just like a round piece of spring steel that went on there, and there's a shaft snapped off inside there. So it had to be replaced either way, and this is apparently the upgrade for it. So anyways, this one's good to go, and we're going to get it wiped down one final time and packed up and get it sent on back. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will get to those as soon as I can, and as always, we will see you on the next one. Thanks.